Okay, so we're here at the Roseville, Australia. This is Gabe, the Ciderologist. I'm Hugh from Real Cider Reviews. Gabe's just in Australia for a little moment, so tell us a bit about yourself.
All right, so yeah, I'm from the west of England, heart of cider country, and I enjoyed certainly drinking cider when I was younger, and I ended up living and working on a little cider farm in Herefordshire, quite literally in a shed in the garden.
Yep.
And it was there that I learned all about the skill of cider making, but also about the heritage and the culture and the tradition, and I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And from there my cider journey has kind of continued, and I've been involved in the industry for 10 years. I worked for Weston's as a cider maker for a couple of years, 5th biggest producer in the UK, but I quickly realised I was better at talking about cider rather than making it. Was offered the opportunity to go and work for Bulmers, the world's largest, and I suppose the highlight of my time there was that I presented a bottle of cider to Her Majesty the Queen.
Yes.
She was suitably unimpressed by the whole thing, but judging by the look on her face in the photos, certainly.
I feel would have knocked that back.
Yeah, true enough. And then I escaped to this side of the world. I lived in New Zealand for 3 years and made some cider and made some wine, but I missed talking about cider, so I came back to the UK and established the Ciderologist, which is my platform and place to champion cider, to talk about it, and run training and education and consultancy and writing and presentations, just trying to do my bit to let the whole world know just how awesome cider can be.
So you've been all over the world with Ciderologists. You've just been to CiderCon?
Yeah.
So how was that?
CiderCon's amazing. So the world's largest cider gathering.
Yeah.
There were 1,100 people from, I think the total count was 14 different countries.
Yeah.
A fascinating insight as to what's happening within the US market, and wow, they're they're growing very fast in volume terms, but the breadth of products that are being made and the quality and the money that they put into it, they're a real beacon as to what cider can be and what it can become. So it's certainly really exciting times over there. And the UK's got a lot to learn in terms of how to approach and talk about cider, which a lot of people, it's surprising to a lot of people who are outside of the UK, because they think that we're the world's largest producer and consumer, we've got it all sewn up, but that's not always the case. And I know that there's a lot of good things happening here in Australia too.
So talking about Australian ciders, we're drinking, this is the Apple Thief, their Pink Lady edition. Obviously made from dessert fruits, so that's a little bit different to what normally goes on in the UK.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It's good. It's good. What's always important to remember is that the traditional ciders that are made in the UK are made with these very specific high tannin cider apples. And they produce our traditional style, which is bold, rich, complex, high tannin, low acidity. Those apples don't really exist in any kind of great quantity outside of the UK. So in the main, the ciders are made with dessert fruit, like a Pink Lady in this case, which is all very much about being acid forward and acid dominant, so light, crisp and lean. So completely kind of chalk and cheese in terms of the flavour profile, not necessarily one being better than the other, just different. There are good and bad exponents of both high tannic ciders and high acid ciders. And for anybody who's had a rough old scrumpy in the UK, you know that just because it's got tannin doesn't make it a good cider necessarily. It can be bad news, but equally you can get some very bland, boring and insipid dessert fruit ciders. Thankfully this isn't the case here. This Pink Lady's actually got a nice little bit of structure and complexity. It's quite floral on the nose, and it's got a nice balance of that acid with that sweetness. So it does precisely what it's meant to do. It's 4.5% ABV. It's a perfectly light, crisp, refreshing, thirst-quenching, sessionable cider for a stinking hot day like it is today.
So there's a lot of ciders like this on the Australian market. How do you think they'd play overseas?
I think it would do well in the UK, although our traditional style is with the high tannin apples. There's still a lot of consumers who never go towards cider at all. Whereas because of the nature of the high acid profile of the cider like this, I think it could appeal to anybody who's a Sauvignon Blanc drinker or Pinot Grigio drinker. So I think there's some opportunity and traction there, and this is the kind of this is a style which is being made in parts of the US and in New Zealand and in South Africa, and gaining increasing popularity within Europe too. So there is a good opportunity.
So I think ciders and curries and anything spicy is a really good combination. Mexican, Asian. The UK's got some excellent curries.
Certainly does.
Surely there's a market opportunity for this type of cider over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, cider and food go so well together, but it's completely kind of unheralded and much underutilized. But you know, you make cider in the same way that you make wine.
Yep.
You get fruit, you squeeze it, you extract the juice. It's got sugar. Yeast turns it into alcohol.
Yep.
And depending upon the variety of apple that you use, you get a range of different flavors, just like with wine. And so you can approach the matching just in the same way that you would with a wine with food, you know, which is the classic match. So why not go for something light, lean, crisp, and fresh with some seafood?
Yep.
Or if you're going to have a curry, go for something that's nicely perfumed and aromatic. This would actually go really well with that.
Yep.
If you're having something a bit bolder, if you're having some beef, or you're having a pie or something like that, then maybe something a bit bolder and more tannic would go with it. So there's awesome opportunities. It's just about getting out there and having a bit of experimentation and trying.
Yeah, that's half the fun of it.
Damn right.
So you've got a few more days left in Australia. You're going to check out a few more cider houses around the country.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately probably not going to have a huge opportunity this time. Might go and visit a few cider makers tomorrow. Certainly try a few more ciders in town tonight. Yeah, it's always great to come back here just to see what's going on, what ciders are being made. Off to New Zealand next to lead a tour of some US cider makers around the country, and to make a bit of cider, and then hitting the west coast of the USA to see what they do up there. They've got some more of the more bold and progressive, more craft beer inspired styles of cider out there, more flavoured ciders, but with interesting combinations. So Reverend Nat, who's quite a famed cider maker up in Portland, his most sort of basic cider is the hot apricot cider.
Yeah, that's out there.
And that's his more kind of sane cider. So it's going to be fascinating to see what cider is all about for those guys over there.
Yeah, excellent. So if people want to follow your adventures, where can they find out more?
Cool. Well, you just need to go and check out the Ciderologist on all the platforms. So website ciderologist.com, or check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Google the Ciderologist and you will find me.
Excellent. Rightio, so please hit the subscribe button, and this has been Hugh from Real Cider Reviews and Gabe the Ciderologist. Thank you.
Peace.